Have you ever wondered what stories the moon whispers to the night creatures? Tonight, follow a lone fox on its silent journey, guided by moonlight, carried by curiosity, and wrapped in calm sleep. Part 1. The fox's first look. A chilly breeze drifted through tall grass, carrying the scent of pine and distant wood smoke. The world was hushed, no rustle, no distant hum, only the soft sigh of night settling in. Under the glow of a full moon, a slender fox emerged. Its coat, a rich russet, seemed to catch the moonlight, turning copper flames into soft silver embers. It paused at the edge of the forest, ears pricked, chest rising slowly with each breath. Tonight was no ordinary night. The fox's golden eyes followed the moon's path across the sky. Its heart beat in time with the moon's silent pulse, as if something spoke, not in words, but in light. The fox took a step forward, then another. It followed a hidden trail that only moonlight could show. With every pawful, the night grew more curious and more still. Part 2. Moonlit meadow. The fox traversed a meadow where fireflies hovered in languid spirals, like drifting lanterns. The grass whispered beneath its paws, dewy cold and silvered. Overhead, the moon hung low, reflected in the dew like a second glowing orb beneath each step. A night breeze stirred, carrying the scent of wildflowers, lavender, honeysuckle, something faintly sweet and ancient. The fox sniffed, nudged a blossom open with a careful nose. Its petals shivered, then glowed faintly, as though feeding off the moon's own hush. The fox halted. It gazed upward, and the moon seemed to gaze back. In that silent exchange, no fear, only wonder. The fox felt seen. Part 3. The whispering. Stream soon. The meadow led to a stream, fed by unseen springs. It moved so gently, you could almost hear its breath. The fox paused at the bank, gold eyes reflecting rippling moonlight. Each gentle ripple whispered, "Follow me." The fox drank from the cool water. Each sip felt like cold silk, touching the tongue with distant sky. Then it stepped in. The water lapped at its paws and ankles, cool and still. The moon painted silver lines across the stream, guiding the fox deeper into night's calm embrace. Part 4. The shadow bridge. The stream narrowed and wove around smooth stepping stones. The fox crossed with silent grace, its shadow mirrored on the water's surface. Elongated and fluid, a companion made of silver shadows and quiet moonbeams. On the farther bank, a rope bridge swayed softly. Its boards were worn and creaked like memory, but it seemed safe, beckoning to be crossed. The fox hesitated halfway, feeling the gentle sway and the moon's steady gaze above, then moved on with trust born of night's hush. Part 5. Moon Garden Gateway. You can almost feel the air change warmer, sweeter, like honey warmed in daylight. The fox stepped into a hidden glade, rings of soft moss beneath ancient trees, bathed in bright moonlight as if lit from within. In the center stood an arch enchant, vines twisted into it, dotted with white blooms that almost glowed. The fox paused before the arch. Beyond it, another moonlit realm, waiting tonight. The forest had revealed a secret. A path lit by moons, paved with curiosity, leading toward dreams. Part 6. The Garden of Echoes. Beyond the arch of vines, the fox stepped into a garden that pulsed with stillness. The earth here was soft, not from dampness, but memory. Each paw step left an imprint that shimmered faintly before fading, as if the ground had waited years just to feel that single step. The flowers were unlike any in the outer forest. Round petals shaped like stars, glowing from their centers. Some leaned toward the fox. Others gently turned to face the moon. And when the fox breathed, the garden echoed, not a loud repeat, but a quiet response, as if the trees and soil were saying, "Yes, we hear you. Yes, you are real." Part 7. Petals that whisper. The fox came upon a small clearing where petals floated through the air, not falling, just suspended. They drifted around like snowflakes too curious to land. Each one shimmered in the moonlight and hummed a faint, wordless tune. One brushed the fox's nose, warm and soft like velvet in spring. Another settled between its ears before disappearing into the wind. A hush came over the garden, but it wasn't empty. It was listening. The fox lay down among the petals, paws tucked beneath its body. And in that silence, the petals whispered something not in words, but in feelings. You are not lost. You are just resting. Part 8. The log that remembers. Near the edge of the petal grove, the fox found an old, fallen log, smooth and curved, like it had been carved by time, not tools. It circled once, then leaped lightly atop it. The bark was cool beneath its paws, the scent of moss and age rising from the wood. And as the fox sat, the log glowed faintly beneath it. Images began to appear, not pictures exactly, but memories. The fox saw moments, a puddle it had splashed through as a cub, a quiet stare exchanged with the moon, a time it had paused, unnoticed, in a field of wee tall memories, held by the land. The garden was not just a place, it was a memory keeper, and it remembered the fox. Part 9. Moon above, mirror below. A pool lay just beyond the log, still and round, like the eye of the world. The fox approached. The moon's reflection sat perfectly in the water, so clear, it almost seemed to hover just below the surface. The fox looked down and didn't see just its face. It saw a journey, every step from the forest to the meadow, the stream, the garden, and in its eyes, it saw peace. Not because it had found answers, but because it had stopped running. It lowered its head. Its reflection followed to moon's, two eyes. And one quiet night of becoming still. Part 10. The circle completes. The garden began to soften, the way dreams do, just before waking. The petals floated slower now. The echo faded. Even the moonlight dimmed slightly, like a candle preparing to rest. The fox rose quietly. It looked back at the arch, then ahead to the meadow once more. But this time, the path wasn't unfamiliar. It felt like home. With one last glance toward the pool and a breath as deep as still water, the fox walked back under the moon. The journey hadn't ended, but for tonight, it had paused in the perfect place, a place of peace, a place of sleep. Part 11. The moon's message as the fox walked across the meadow once more. The moon had risen, even higher full, bright and ancient. Its light felt warmer now, more personal. It didn't just glow. It watched. The fox paused and lifted its face, eyes narrowing softly. For a moment, everything held its breath, and then, something remarkable happened. A beam of moonlight shimmered down, not sharp, not cold, but soft. As snowfall, it touched the fox's fur, and in that glow, a whisper was heard. Not from the sky, from within. You are never alone, the moon said. Even in the quietest dark, I am with you. The fox blinked slowly. The message needed no reply. It was already understood. Part 12. The velvet path asterisk as the fox continued. The ground beneath its paws began to change. The roughness of leaves and stone gave way to something softer. A path woven from moss, fallen petals, and night. It felt like velvet beneath each step, soothing, gentle, almost like the sky had laid down a carpet to carry the fox home. The fox walked, slowly now, not searching, not chasing, just walking, because it felt right. Above stars, shimmered like candlelight through deep water. No wind, no urgency, just quiet and trust. Part 13. A memory in the wind, a soft breeze stirred the trees. The fox stopped, head tilted. It wasn't just wind, it was memory. Carried in the hush was the scent of something long forgotten, a place once known, or a voice once loved. The fox stood still, letting the air wrap around it. And suddenly, for just a breath, it felt the nudge of its mother's nose. A warm den. A quiet night when it had first seen the stars. The wind curled gently around the fox's body, then drifted on. And the fox smiled, not with its face, but with its being. Part 14. Sleeping under the stars, the path curved to a small hill. The fox climbed it slowly and found a spot bathed in moonlight, soft grass, untouched, waiting. It curled up, tail over nose, eyes half closed. Breathing slowed. The stars above blinked in rhythm. The forest below sighed gently, cradling its smallest traveler. And for the first time that night, the fox didn't need to look ahead. or behind, or beyond. Sleep was already here, not demanding, just waiting. Part 15. The garden says goodnight around the fox. The moon garden pulsed once, more like a heart in harmony. The flowers dimmed their glow. The trees hushed their branches. Even the wind quieted, leaving only stillness. And in that hush, the garden whispered its final words. Rest now, moonwalker. You have wandered far enough for one night. Dream softly. Return when the stars call again. The fox's chest rose and fell. Once, twice. Then, stillness. The moon watched gently from above, and the garden returned to sleep. Part 16. The first light somewhere behind the trees, the first hint of morning began to stretch. Not loud, not eager, just a hush, growing lighter. A soft pale blue replaced the deeper black. The stars faded gently, not gone, just resting. Now, the fox lay curled beneath its dream, still breathing, wrapped in everything the night had given, and the moon. The moon lingered a little longer. Part 17. The moon's goodbye before retreating. The moon lowered just enough to peek behind the treetops. One last glance at the fox. It didn't speak this time. It didn't need to. The message was woven into every leaf, every breeze, every beat of the fox's resting heart. I will always be with you, even when I'm not seen. I shine for you. Then the moon bowed behind the hills, leaving the world in a silence so full it felt sacred. Part 18. The garden holds the fox as light filtered into the moon garden. The flowers closed gently, curling their petals inward. The moss softened even more, cradling the fox like a quiet bed. No alarm, no rush. The fox stirred slightly only to snuggle deeper, tail wrapped tighter, breath deeper. The garden didn't wake, it simply changed. Night had ended, but the story hadn't. Part 19. The fade into sleep now, listener. Feel your body melt into stillness, like that fox. You, too, have walked your own quiet path. You've stepped through hidden arches, heard whispers only calm can bring. And now, you are safe. Let your breath slow. Let your thoughts loosen. Let your eyes close, just like the fox. You are held. You are heard. You are home. Part 20. Until the next dream, and if you ever find yourself awake again under moonlight, remember this story. Remember the quiet fox, the soft petals, the bridge, the stars, and the feeling of being seen. Because sleep is not a place we escape to. It's a place we return to, night after night, until the next dream. Good night, moonwalker, good night. Sleep well, fade to silence. Hold breath of stillness for final 20 seconds.